Not just another win, but a 5-point swing in the La Liga table. Not just a league win, but an El Clásico win. Nothing more emotional than beating Barcelona at the Estadio Bernabéu, even when VAR tried its best not to.
From the heart of Madrid, where passion meets purpose.
It was a legacy built by legends and a future written by rising stars.
We begin with the Grandmaster himself, Xabi Alonso, who laid out a formation so fluid you'd think it was poured from a vintage Rioja. Starting with a 4-2-3-1 that casually drifted into a 4-1-4-1, Madrid combined control with chaos. This wasn't just a formation on paper, it was a layered machine designed for fluidity and pressure. Let's break it down. Double pivot. Two midfield enforcers, not smashing into opponents, but cutting passing lanes, carrying the ball forward, and exchanging roles like seasoned tango dancers. They didn't just block Barcelona's midfield, they shut it down with padlocks, barbed wire, and a polite do not disturb sign. Box-to-box chaos engines. Positioned slightly ahead, this creative duo lived in the half spaces, pulled defenders out like gravity wells, and caused more damage than a toddler in a glass shop. Defensively, they became press monsters, running from box to box like caffeinated heat maps. The tactical elegance: when one pushed forward, the other covered. When both pushed forward, Barcelona panicked.
Wingbacks, the wide guardians. Their job, simple. Erase Barcelona's wingers from existence. They closed down crossing zones, blocked diagonal carries, and forced Barcelona's wide game into early retirement. Offensively, they supported overlaps, just enough to confuse, but not enough to overcommit. The result? Barcelona's flanks looked like a blackout zone.
Centre-backs and attackers. Well, there is no tactical fireworks here. Just solid, mistake-free execution. The defenders maintained shape and composure. The attackers respected positioning, ready to pounce when the midfield opened up a path. What made this strategy tick wasn't its complexity, it was the balance. Real Madrid attacked with creativity and defended as a unit. Everyone had a partner, everyone had a role. And Barcelona? They spent most of the match trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. Now that we've dissected the game plan, let's meet the artists who brought it to life. Because strategy is just ink on paper until someone turns it into a masterclass on grass. The double pivot, Tchouaméni and Camavinga. Alonso had tested this pairing in recent games, but the results were, well, let's call them underwhelming with a side of why bother. Most teams just sat in a low block and our dynamic duo got stuck in traffic. But against Barcelona, oh, different story. They flipped the midfield like a worn-out tortilla. Barcelona's beloved midfield control? Yeah, that got sent to storage. Camavinga, somehow playing right midfield while doing center midfield things, was everywhere. He tracked Pedri like a jealous ex and sent Valverde's overlaps to the Bermuda Triangle. But he wasn't just breaking plays, he was creating. His mobility added variation to Real Madrid's attacking transitions. His pressing, ball control, and off-the-ball runs constantly disrupted Barcelona's structure. One of those runs, it lured Valverde just enough to open the gap for Bellingham's assist to Mbappé. Moreover, that run also made Valverde ran back further than Barcelona defensive line, and the offside trap was gone. Bang! That wasn't just timing, that was chess. Tchouaméni, quiet, surgical. Sitting deep, cleaning up messes that didn't even happen yet. Zone 14, locked. Lost keys? Ask Chua. The midfield creators, Bellingham and Güler. The question was, could Bellingham and Güler coexist? Could they dance without stepping on each other's feet? Turns out, yes, and they're leading the ballroom. They rotated like seasoned DJs. One dropped deep, the other pushed high, and Barcelona's midfield got whiplash trying to follow. Alonso used them like alternating gears. When one was the fantasista, the other became the box-to-box engine. And when they swapped, Barcelona got dizzy. Bellingham returned like a king from exile, assisted the first, scored the second, and spent the rest of the time asking, "You sure you want to press me here?" Before the second goal, it seemed like we never saw Bellingham using his late run to Barcelona's box in this match. And then suddenly, he was there, inside the box, and easily tapped in the ball. His timing to use his great weapon, just spot on. Güler, a performance many were waiting for, except for that one moment when he decided to gift Barcelona a goal again. Seriously, man, if you're going to turn with the ball in midfield, maybe don't announce it first.
A call immediately from our beloved Croatian maestro, Luka Modric. You need to stay calm. At your age, mistakes like this happen.
And credit where it's due. Both Bellingham and Güler didn't just attack. They pressed, chased, and dropped to help Tchouaméni and Camavinga defend the midfield. They were fantasistas with box-to-box lungs, a rare and beautiful combination.
Attacking duo, Vinícius and Mbappé. Vinícius dragged defenders like a discount tugboat, always two men chasing him, none of them catching. But no goals or assists? Oh, cue the drama. He got subbed and gave Alonso the look you'd reserve for someone who unfollowed you on Instagram. To be fair, the sub made sense. For the last 20 minutes, when Barcelona must have pushed for the equalizer, we needed legs to press, and Vinícius was already saving energy for his next mixtape. Oh, and by the way, Vinícius also helped Carreras shut down Barcelona's right flank, especially Lamine Yamal. It was a tag team beatdown that belonged in a wrestling ring, not a football pitch. Mbappé, meanwhile, was a walking highlight reel. Almost scored a goal of the season before that, and missed a penalty just to keep it interesting. His offside goal? VAR said no. Real Madrid fans said, as usual.
The wing-back duo, Carreras and Valverde. Wide defense masterclass? Exhibit A, Carreras and Valverde. Let's start with Carreras. The man had Lamine Yamal in his pocket so tightly, we're still checking lost and found. No flashy forward runs, no wild tackles, just a calm, positionally perfect shutdown of Barcelona's golden boy. He didn't flinch on feints, didn't fall for overlaps, and when the Catalans tried to overload his wing, he calmly delayed until backup arrived. That's not just defending, that's adult supervision. And I'll be honest, based on recent form, seeing Carreras line up against Yamal made me reach for the panic button. But he showed up like a bouncer on Derby night. No entry, no mercy. Valverde on the other flank, classic energy. This time, though, he had one mission: erase Barcelona's wide threat before it even booted up. No overlapping joyrides here. He stayed tucked in, held the line, and helped form a flat five out of possession. The result? Barcelona's entire wide blueprint looked like a printer jam. Together, they didn't just hold their zones, they made them impenetrable. And that, folks, is why Barcelona couldn't stretch the pitch even if they had stilts.
In the end, Real Madrid didn't just beat Barcelona, they dissected them, laughed at their notes, and mailed them back with red ink all over. Another Clásico in the books, another lesson taught. And somewhere in a quiet corner of the Bernabéu, Xabi Alonso is sipping tea, like a man who just checkmated without moving his queen.
If you enjoyed watching how Madrid architected this win, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. We've got every tactic, every breakdown, and every moment just like this one. Hasta la próxima, a la Madrid!